This is so cool.
I'm excited. There we go. I was like, the music won't stop. Hi, everyone. All right. Hi, guys. How are you? Let us know that you're here. If you are new, welcome. My name is Ashley Smarowsky, and I'm a spiritual medium psychic. And today I have my beautiful master healer, Anny, with me.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Here come the comments.
Okay, perfect. I don't think I can see them. Or, yeah, well, they appear. Oh, there they are. I had to switch over.
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
Hi, everyone.
Super excited that you guys are here. So right now it is about 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. So if you're with us now, come say hi. Or if you're watching the replay, then do #replay. All right. Hi, Sherry.
Tuesday.
I love this. So do us a favor, just because we love it and we appreciate it. Click that share button. Let everyone know that we're here. Today, we are going to be hanging out with Anny. We're going to be talking a little bit about how trauma affects us in our everyday life. And then we're also going to be doing some free mini readings. So share, stick around, engage, hang out with us for the night.
Absolutely. And feel free to ask questions along the way in the comments, and we'll answer and address them as we keep discussing. My plan and purpose for tonight is to sort of spark a little bit of curiosity in your mind in regards to yourself and your journey and the parts of you that perhaps you still need some healing in with the topic that we're going to be discussing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
She said, oh my God, I have so much trauma, help. Yes, that is what we're going to be diving into. It's the topic of trauma, because I feel that oftentimes we're not aware of how much trauma actually affects us in our day-to-day life, in our relationships, in the way that we see ourselves, in our beliefs. And even when we do know that it affects us, it's like we don't know how to go through them, how to heal them, how to move on and release. Yep. So we'll be touching on some of those things tonight.
I'm super excited. And if you're watching and you're like, oh, I had a relatively easy upbringing, I don't have trauma. Yes, you do.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, I was like, oh, my childhood was fine. I had a great childhood. I was the most free child, normal childhood. No, it was still some things there. So that's a very good point, Ashley.
Yep. All right. Oh, hi, everyone. Okay, so super excited. So click that share button. And if you want to click it like 100 times, that's fine. You won't hear us complaining at all.
We love the support.
But super excited that you guys are here. And so before we dive into all the fun stuff, I do want to go ahead and just give Anny a second to kind of introduce herself, because I'm sure some of you are familiar with Anny, but how many of you know her and how many of you don't, just out of curiosity. But I'm just going to kind of hand, the floor over to you, Anny. And if you want to let people know who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff, go for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate you. Hello, everyone. For those of you that do not know me, I'm Anny, and I am also a psychic medium. I actually got into this journey through Ashley. I took her mediumship course back in 2021, so about 2 years ago. And from there, to be honest with you, my entire life, my entire reality changed around in a way that I never even imagined. So Ashley is actually a big part of who I am today. She was at that start, right? She guided me through becoming who I am now, basically.
You did all the work, though, but thank you.
Yes. Absolutely. Shout out to me too. Ever since then, I felt really drawn to and called to be part of that, to do more, to help others in the way that, for example, Ashley helped me with my grief at the time. And so I wanted to tap more into this, and I started practicing. And then I basically started a whole career out of this. And now here I am offering guidance, offering insight, both in personal, so like psychic readings, and in mediumship, where I connect with past loved ones. And lately, I've been really diving deeper into being sort of like a life coach, where I assist you with getting past your traumas and knowing how to basically recondition yourself, reprogram yourself, because these beliefs, these traumas were a way of programming us, of making us be who we think we are, when in reality, these are limits and blockages. So I like to give you certain, let's say, thoughts and ideas of how those things could have affected you, kind of like to get you to start thinking about, okay, why do I act the way that I do? Why do I feel the way that I do? Why do I show up the way that I do in relationships or with myself? Why do I have a lack of self-love? Why am I a people pleaser? Like all of these things, there's a root cause of that. So that is what I'm hoping to. Oh, thank you. That is what I'm hoping to get into, is help you analyze those root causes of why you are how you are today, and how to move through them.
I love that.
So thank you. So I'm going to give you a quick example, and I'll use myself as well as an example for this. I was someone that was brought up with a very normal childhood. I had a lot of fun. I was able to be very creative and imaginative, and I grew up outside and playing with friends. Like nothing traumatic happened in my childhood. And I always thought, oh, there's nothing for me to heal from my childhood. Like I'm perfectly fine. Little did I find out, there was definitely some things that I needed to heal. And one of them is, so with my mom, she is a very loving mom, very nurturing. However, she's someone that is a people pleaser. And she never put herself first. She never stopped to think about how she feels, what she wants for herself. And I grew up watching and observing her always pleasing others, from her husband, my dad, her kids, her parents, everyone around her except herself. And as a child, I admire my mom. I'm like, she's so sweet. She's so kind. Like, I want to be like her. And I started to grow up like her. I started only thinking of others and never about myself. And it wasn't until I got into a very toxic relationship that I stopped to think, and I'm like, wait a minute, what does Annie feel? What does Annie want? What if I don't want to do that because that isn't serving me? But, and I can say no. What happens if I say no? And it wasn't until I was an adult and, in a situation where I basically had to say no, and I started to wonder, and I look back and dive deeper into, like, why am I always just wanting to make others happy and not myself? I matter just as much. So I worked on setting boundaries and all of these things. So that's just an example of how things can come up and how those things show up in relationships. So if you are open to that, put it in the comments how you think that these traumas show up for you. How is there a situation that you can think of where you feel like, okay, maybe I show up this way because of that? Maybe when I was a child, my parents did not comfort me enough. They didn't let me to express myself. Every time that I wanted to talk, they would tell me, oh, I'm busy, go over there and play, every time that you try to share an idea. And so now maybe you're someone that doesn't like to express themselves, that feels like you're not worthy of being heard. And it's because your parents always dismissed what you had to say. And so start thinking a little bit about that. And Ashley, do you have anything you want to share on that?
And I love those examples, because I think so often people hear the word trauma and they're like, well, I wasn't abused, I wasn't neglected. And, it's our parents, and trauma can come from other people, than our parents. We could have gone through trauma in our teen years with relationships. We could go through trauma, in our adulthood. But
yes,
the thing with trauma is it's most of the time the trauma is not inflicted on us intentionally.
Yes.
Sometimes, but a
Yes.
lot of times it's just, the parents or the people around us and their own traumas that have
Yes.
gone unhealed that sort of just trickle down. And we don't look at it as a trauma until, like you said, we kind of reach this point in our life where we look and we go, wait a minute, like this is what I've always wanted, or this is what I've always known. I don't know anything different until something happens and then the wheels start turning.
Yes. And that's a very good point with saying that a lot of times it doesn't come on purpose.
Mhm.
You have to think about it. Our parents or our caretakers weren't given a safe space to heal and to process. And so it goes back to generations and generations. So maybe
Mhm.
you could be the break of that. You could be the cycle breaker by
Yeah.
doing the work necessary, even if it's hard, because it is hard, but
Mhm.
it's so worthy. You liberate yourself, you free yourself.
Yep.
So Angie said, I'm always a people pleaser, and I think maybe because my mom was opposite. Is that possible? She loved us kids, but with others it was all about her.
Yep.
Yes, I absolutely feel that it could be an opposite type of thing. When I want to say, with my father, I had a very similar situation where it was like the opposite of how he was, I turned out to be.
Mhm. Yep. And you kind of think about it. I mean, what we lack growing up, we tend to overcompensate for as adults, right?
Yeah.
So you even like if we take it down to bare bones, let's say like growing up, you grew up in a family and you never really got your birthday celebrated or you never really had Christmas presents or things like that. As an adult, you may really overcompensate for your kids. So I think it's part of that healing process is just figuring out what works for you and making sure that you're not either just mimicking everything that you've seen before you, or you're not overcompensating. Just trying to find that common middle ground is, what really feels right in here for me.
Yes, I love that. And Angie said, but let's see. You also said, but now my kids don't worry about people feelings. I need to change that. I didn't even realize. Yeah,
Yeah.
so see, it's like that cycle being passed down and not on purpose. I'm sure that you didn't mean for them to be that way, right? And Yvette, thank you guys so much for sharing as well. You're very brave to be able to share this. People pleaser, very independent, raised by a strong single woman, don't know how to say no, raising my son as a single mother as well.
Hmm.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
My
Yeah. And
mom,
I saw Susan said, what about trauma like a child with brain cancer? Yeah. So, I mean, and that goes two ways, right? Like, let's say you were the child with brain cancer. That absolutely is trauma. But if your sibling had it, you would still have trauma from that. If it's your child with it, you can have trauma. Like, absolutely. Yes. 100%.
my mom definitely passed on her anxiety and trauma down to me with the feeling of never being enough and questioning everything I do. See, so never thought I would be able to please my parents. That's another one, trying to get our parents' attention, trying to for them to validate us, for them to acknowledge us. That's another thing as well. And that's also another cause of why you're a people pleaser, is always needing that, feeling that need to feel wanted or heard or seen, since our parents didn't do that.
Yep. And I think, acknowledging those things, that's step one, right? Being able to have that realistic point of view and go, okay, I might not know how to correct this, or I may not even know if I want to correct this, but I'm at least acknowledging it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. So, with everything that you guys are sharing with us, which is also valid and beautiful, and again, you're so brave for even being willing to share that, that alone is going to start. It's sort of like planting a little seed in your mind for you to start thinking and reflecting on these things. I really encourage you from here on to one of these days take some time for yourself in a quiet space where you're not going to be disturbed. Maybe, light up a candle, set the mood, put on some music, grab a pen and a journal. And I want you to start writing about this, okay? I want you to start reflecting on that. So, okay, I am overprotective. I am overprotective because my parents were never protected with me. And I see that someone put that in the comments. I am a people pleaser because my parents were this way, didn't give me that. And I always wanted to feel validated in whatever it is. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep diving deeper and deeper. So when you make a statement, write another statement and another statement, and perhaps even ask why. There's this journaling prompts that I use that I find really helpful, and it's called the 7 whys. So you're going to ask yourself, why? Why am I like this? Why am I like that? And keep asking why, and that why is going to get you to the root of that problem. Okay.
Yep. It's kind of just like connecting the dots backwards.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's amazing the impact that journaling has, because what it does is it forces us to be
Yes.
present, right? It forces us to check in with ourselves and to really acknowledge what we are feeling, that maybe just let's be honest, right? Like we live in a world where it's distraction after distraction after distraction, and we're taking care of this and focused on that. And so often we're not actually like going inward and acknowledging when we feel triggered,
Yes.
or when, we're just reacting out of habit rather than conscious reactions. And
Yes.
journaling can definitely help with that.
Yes, absolutely. I am huge on journaling. I swear by it. If you don't journal, definitely start to. And all you have to do is write out whatever comes to mind. Don't overthink it. Doesn't have to be perfect. No one else is going to read it unless you want them to. And just express yourself, release it on paper, let it out into the universe, into out of your system.
Yep. And there's no wrong way to do it. Like some people love to write and they'll write like page after page after page. And some people like me, I hate to write. So most of my journaling is like bullet points or like just random scribbles. Like there's really not many formed sentences, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone said, how do you move past having a child have brain cancer at 1 year old and now major disabilities and behavior problems? Miracle. He is alive by 18 years of stress and worry. Can you help me? So, Suzanne, that's a very challenging question. And I'm going to answer it in the way that I've learned to understand that life works. And this is more on a spiritual level.
Mm-hmm.
We come here for an experience to grow at soul level, and on a physical level, we're here to evolve, right? To learn and experience. So with your child having cancer and you having this type of, let's say, soul contract or relationship, this type of challenge in your life, this type of lesson, because essentially it's just a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that when it's something like that you cannot change, it's something that in a way, like, you couldn't have chosen for him not to have cancer, right? Like, it is what it is. It's something that you can't actually change, or kind of like you can't make it go away. So number one will be accepting that this is a lesson that your soul signed up for. As hard as it is, there's a bigger reason on why you decided to have this soul contract with your son in this lifetime. And so accept it first, and from there just handle it the best that you can. Go with it as you can, because there's not much that you can change about it. You can't control it. So instead of releasing that control, instead of like needing for it to be different, more so accepting it and letting it go and allowing it to be what it is, and learn from it. What are some things that your son teaches you? What are some things that you can take on a personal level from the things that you learned from him?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that kind of gives you some sort of insight. And Ashley, you can add if you'd like.
And like Ani said, like it's hard to accept, and it's even hard to understand in our human form why our soul would sign up for certain things. But the truth is that Earth is a school, and our soul absolutely comes here to learn, and that everything we experience in this physical lifetime is temporary, whether that's good or bad. Like every single thing in this lifetime is temporary. So there will be a day when you both are free from the traumas, and you're both are free from any ailments of the body. But also I would say really focus on gratitude as well. And that kind of ties into what Ani said about like, what has he taught you? But gratitude will literally change your life. Like if acknowledge the hard stuff, acknowledge the sadness or the anger or the grief and everything that kind of goes along with it. But for every negative thought that you have, add in 3 things that you're grateful for. And what will happen is if you stay consistent with this, it will start to rewire your brain to where you just naturally see the gratitude and the silver lining in just about every situation.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy that you guys are finding this helpful. I see a lot of people commenting saying that they're happy to be here and that they're enjoying this. So I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
And then, Tiff, I'm interested in your comment. So you said, I'm 43, was born with cleft lip and palate, lost my dad to an overdose at 17, lost my mom at 37, and diagnosed with primary progressive multiple sclerosis. Why would I sign up for that? So, good question. Again, we're here on planet Earth for, it's basically like a school, right? To learn certain lessons. When we are here in the physical, we forget who we truly are. There's that veil of forgetfulness. So before you came down, there were major lessons, major challenges that you were going to go through that your soul agreed to experience for your own development as a soul. When you come here, you forget all about that. So you come in sort of like blinded, and it's like, okay, oh my God, all of these things. And we're not going to remember at this physical level. We're not going to understand why. And you know what, you're not supposed to, because you're supposed to have this experience in a very raw, authentic way so that you can learn the most that you can out of it. And I know these are very traumatic events, but believe me when I say this, Tiff, this is nothing you cannot overcome. You can 100% heal from these challenges and traumas that you've gone through
Yeah.
self-work. And yes, it takes a lot. Yes, trust me, I've done a lot of work this year, and there were times that I'm like, what? What I said? Why? Why did I choose this? I could just be living my life in any other way, and I chose this. But
Mhm.
you have to think about it. We learn through challenges. When things are all good and they're just given to us, you don't really appreciate things the same way that you do when you don't have something, when things are hard. You know what I mean? So with these traumas that you have, instead of focusing on why me and falling into that victim card, which by all means, I understand why you feel victimized. You don't deserve those things. But when we fall into the victim card, I have found that we get stuck because it's like, I don't deserve this. And you get stuck in like, why me, God? This is terrible. I don't want this. And instead say, okay, how can I move forward from this? How can I heal? What has this taught me? What can I do now to change my life around for the better from
Yeah.
this? How can I use it to my advantage and sort of have that way of thinking?
I love that. Yeah. And I think 2 things. One, what I've learned over the years of working with spirit and working with people is the strongest souls sign up for the hardest lessons because the soul knows that you're capable of handling it. Even though you're going to have so many days where you're like, I'm never coming back. Like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not doing another lifetime. Like, your soul knows that you are capable of handling this. So you're going to be handed a more difficult card because your soul is more advanced. So there's more lessons, there's greater learning for you to do than maybe like a newer soul. Also, what was I going to say? Wait, there was something I was going to say. Oh, so just like Ani said, what can you learn from this? Also, we go through situations so that we can then help other people in similar situations or in a roundabout way that is connected to what we've gone through. So, for example, I went through a lot of trauma in my childhood, which I've shared before. And now so many of the clients that just find me out of nowhere, once we get to talk and we figure out, hey, like there's a lot in common that I went through and you went through. And
Yes.
because I have the insight and I've gone through it myself, I'm better equipped to help them. So that's another
Yes.
way to kind of look at it.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you, Ashley. And so I see a lot of people asking, how do you release this trauma? How do you let go of it? I'm going to be completely honest. There's not one direct answer like, boom, this is what you have to do and this is it, and then you're going to be healed. No, there's multiple ways and different steps to healing. The first one, as we have been talking about, is identifying of course, every trauma is going to be different. Like if you have trauma from your parents versus something like having, a child with an illness, that's every trauma is different, but identifying how these things make you feel, going back to like why am I like this, why do I view life the way that I do, why do I show up this way in relationships. Okay, I show up in relationships because the way that my parents showed up for me when I was little, or because I've had to deal with taking care of someone else and I never got to focus on myself. So first is getting clear on what it is that you need to heal. What is your trauma? Once you are able to identify the trauma, journaling, going to mentors, invest in yourself. If you know there's someone out here that is offering services to help you heal, to help you dive deeper into that, invest in yourself and perhaps receive that guidance. Like Ashley said, she has gone through her own trauma that she healed from. I have as well. So we have a way, we already have that knowledge and the wisdom of how to move forward from that. Because again, that's not something that we can discuss in like, a 5-minute topic. It's so much longer than that.
Yeah.
But these are little things that you can start incorporating: the journaling, the self-love, doing energy work. Even for me, that was really powerful. I did a lot of energy work where literally and we don't think about this because we forget that we are actually light beings first. We're not just the physical, and we store stagnant energy in our bodies. These traumas, they get stuck in our physical body energetically. Maybe doing Reiki, maybe meditating more. That's actually how I moved through my trauma, with meditation and journaling and energy work. And there's so many different aspects that perhaps you're not aware of on how you can release, but there's a lot of different ways. I hope that sort of helped as well.
And I think, incorporating that energy work is important because, for example, I did therapy for, most of my early adult years. Like, I did a lot of therapy, and it reaches this point where your therapist can only get you so far. And then it's like, okay, but I'm still holding on to something. So what do you do
Yes.
from there? Then you start to incorporate other things like, oh, my space here turned on. Hold on. Then you start to incorporate other things like journaling or meditation or maybe Reiki or finding a life coach. It's kind of like, you can't just go to the doctor once a year and expect to be like fully healthy. Like, you have to eat healthy throughout the year. You have to exercise, like you have to do the work, and not expect to just walk into a session, they cure everything. So if you're
Yes.
trying to release your traumas, just be prepared. Like, you are going to have to put in the time and the work,
Yes.
but it is worth it.
100% worth it. And that's all that it is about. It's about releasing, forgiving
Mhm.
whoever it is that you need to forgive. That's also a very important part in your healing, not holding resentment and anger towards these people that hurt you, that caused this trauma. And even with yourself, forgiving and being compassionate with yourself. Start there. Being more kind and more patient with yourself. Recognize that perhaps you have gone through a lot. Recognize that you didn't have control over a lot of these things.
Yep.
Oh, Britt, I am so sorry to hear that. I'm sending you so much love.
Absolutely. Yeah. And someone said trauma is like an onion. It is. It
Yeah.
is. So that's important. That's where the compassion also comes into play. Like, you're going to feel like, okay, I've done the work, I've healed. And then bam, another layer is going to emerge. So don't feel like you need to completely heal yourself. Like, we're human.
Yes.
Trauma, we could overcome trauma from our past, but we could experience new trauma. And now we've got something else to work through. And so be
Yes.
patient. The trauma that needs to be healed will expose itself when it's ready to be,
Yes.
healed.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful, because that happened to me recently. I had a friendship wound that I just whatever tossed to the
Yep.
side for a while. And it recently came up, but it came up after I did the personal healing and the trauma healing and then the relationship trauma healing. And now it's the friendship wound. And yeah, it'll show up when it needs to. And it's definitely like an onion, and you peel back. And also with what you said earlier, trauma is not only from childhood, it can also develop in adulthood. So keep that in mind. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for commenting these great stories that you're sharing. I'm sending you so much love, so much healing energy. I feel it in my heart, just all of the emotions and the feelings that you guys have gone through. And just know that there is always light after the tunnel. There's always light after the storm.
Yeah. Remember, just everything is temporary. Feel it, breathe through it, and show up for yourself. That's the best that we can do.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Yes, exactly. You have to keep moving forward. You have to try and be optimistic. Know that God loves you. Know that God is on your side. And you're a warrior. Like, you are a warrior. You are capable of this. The only thing that makes you feel like you're not capable of it is your mind. It's those conditioned beliefs, right? Those negative thoughts. But you actually, realistically, you can overcome all of this. Anything.
Yeah. Yeah, Angie, a lot of loss. Like that's hard when we have loss after loss after loss. But remember, even in that, we can find gratitude. We can find lessons. What have you learned through those experiences? What have you learned from the relationships?
Yeah.
So honor the grief, but don't forget to focus on the lessons and the gratitude as well.
Yes, exactly. Healthy balance.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ashley, if you're ready, I'm ready, and we can start diving into readings.
I am ready. I am 100% ready. So, for those of you who love Ani, which you should because she's amazing, before we dive into readings, I do have her website scrolling down here at the bottom, but also I have all of her information linked and tagged in the description of the video, and I randomly just keep putting it here in the comments. Here it comes again. So
You're
if
so
you,
funny.
so if you have questions or if you want to see what Ani's offering or just, want to follow her on social media, absolutely go do that.
Yes, please do follow me so that we can stay connected and grow in this journey of life together. I'd be more than happy, and it truly, genuinely fills my heart to know that I'm able to assist others in their healing journey and getting out of their own way, essentially. With that being said, I also want to talk about the offer that I'm running at this time, which is right now have a special, or not a special, it's more so like an offer where I am doing a forecast reading for 2024. So it's sort of just to give you an idea and a feel of what 2024 is going to be holding for you. And I'm diving into each area of your life. So I'm doing a reading for your personal life, your personal development. So as an individual, what lessons, what challenges you may face in 2024. I'm also diving into your relationship and love aspect and what you can expect in 2024 in terms of love. And of course, least but not last, or last but not least, your career and your finances and what you can look forward to in 2024 in terms of your career. And this is all one reading, okay, where I dive very in depth into each of these areas. So definitely something to look into if you want to know what 2024 has for you in those terms.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I'm just going to grab a deck here. Forget to grab this one. Okay. So you guys can just continue to comment below what type of guidance you like to receive. And of course, I think you linked like my Facebook and all of that. You guys can
Mhm.
follow me on my own personal Facebook page.
Yep, it's all in the description of the video. So if you guys are not following Ani yet, you 100% should.
Yes, please. Angie, that could be on your end. You should be able to see her comments. She says she can't see your comments.
I'll do it again.
Are you guys able to see Ashley's comments?
Yeah, I would think maybe the only place that can't see when I comment is maybe in the Master Healers group. Um, but it says that it's
Uh,
posting.
oh, Ward said he can see. Hi, Ward.
Okay. Yeah, so if you can't see for some reason, all I'm doing is linking her website, which is again in the banner down here, and then it's in the description. So if you can't see the comments, it's fine. It's everywhere else.
Okay. So I'm going to begin with Lisa McKee. You said spirit team guidance. I'm just going to take a quick moment to tap into your energy and I'll begin with the guidance. Oh, you pinned it. Great. Okay. Lisa, one of the first things that I'm being brought to when I connect with your spirit guide and your energy, have you been contemplating something lately? Sort of like indecisive about a certain situation or choice that you need to make? So I'm sort of feeling like you could be doubtful at this time. Would that make sense? Please let me know and then I can continue. Okay. 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 So, Lisa, I'm feeling here, and this could be like in terms of your career or in terms of your creative energy. I'm feeling here like your guides are saying to stop worrying about how things are going to solve themselves for you, how things are going to work out, and more so to enjoy the ride, to enjoy the experience, because you have the card here that says it's time to play, which is all about like also pampering yourself and spending time to do things that you enjoy and not just focusing on what needs to get done and you know the things that your to-do list every day, but also doing things for yourself. That could be going out with friends or having a nice little drink, whatever it is, but also focusing on you. And as far as like career or that area, I'm also feeling like there's an opportunity for you to start. Okay, that's good. There's an opportunity for you to start maybe taking a course, like educating yourself more, increasing your knowledge is what I'm feeling here. So if you have been sort of thinking about like, oh, I should start this course, or I should start this class, or I should go and start this, or if you start having those thoughts, your spirit guides are saying to go forward with it. All right, because there's some sort of opportunity for you to expand when it comes to your knowledge. Need to take the broker's exam. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so they're saying to continue studying, continue doing your research, because this is going to help you with that, okay? And then the last thing that I'm seeing here for you, Lisa, is they're saying open your heart. And what I'm feeling with that is I feel like there could be a situation or a certain relationship, a certain connection in your life that you could be experiencing some sort of, I want to say like not trouble, but there could be some uneasy energy with a connection in your life. I'm almost feeling like this could be with a friend, like a girlfriend or a sister or something of that sort, but it could be someone else. That was just what I briefly felt. And they're saying like, try to not judge the situation too much. If you're having like a conflict or a disagreement with someone in your life that is important for you right now, they're saying not to overthink the situation. Okay. I hope that helps. Thank you so much, Lisa.
I love it. Okay. So I was very drawn to Britt Herrera. Britt, I don't know if I said your last name right or wrong, but Britt, let me know if this makes sense. So the second I honed in on your energy, I saw my sign for caretaker. So I feel like you are sort of in this caretaker position. And I like, I don't know who that's for. I almost feel like it's for like an older, like maternal energy. I don't feel like you are around the clock a caretaker, but it's more along the lines of caretaking. Like, what does she need? Is she doing okay? Concerned about things going on in her life. And I feel like it's just stress that isn't necessarily about you, but is weighing heavily on you. Would that make any sense? Do you know who that is that I'm picking up on? I don't know if it's a mom, a grandma, an aunt. I don't know, but it's I'm definitely getting like an older female energy. And I feel like, let me see. I'm an RN and have a family member that just moved here. Okay. So the way that this is coming in, a spirit, like I keep seeing balance. Like that's the first thing that you need, because it feels like, and it makes sense that you're a nurse, because it feels like you tend to give, like you're like, what do you need? I'm here. I'll fix everything. I'll make sure you're comfortable. I'll do all the things. But then you get so wrapped up in it, because it's not like I can go to work and then I come home. This is more like the two areas of life are merging. And so it's going to be harder for you to create that separation. And Spirit's like, you have to create balance, or else you're not going to be good to her. You're not going to be good to yourself. You're just going to be running on fumes. So I do think taking a step back right now and just sort of looking at where and how you're putting your energy into it and where you can make adjustments is really important. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. I feel like there's a male involved somewhere, and he could be helping more, but he's not, because he knows that you're capable of it. And so I don't feel like this is him intentionally like, no, I'm good. I literally, I feel like he's kind of like blind to it. So this may be something where you have to sort of put this in front of him to say, hey, like, yes, I can do this, but I would like help. I could use help. If you're capable of it, let's step up. And sort of just putting that in front of him. And I feel like he'll absolutely like, okay, tell me what to do and I'll do it. You said, yes, he is. Okay. So I do see that this is just going to really take a lot of energy in your life over these next few months. But if you have the balance, you'll be able to navigate it beautifully. And just remember, again, to prioritize you is really, really important. The first card that comes out for you is truth. So speak your truth, like make it known. You know, this, look, she's touching like the throat chakra. I don't know how well you can see it. But like speak your truth. Let people know what you need and don't be afraid to ask for help. And then unplug. So take time for you. Okay. Super, super important. But yeah, just create balance is what Spirit is showing me. I hope that's helpful.
I love that. Linda, you said career guidance, please. Linda, the felt when I read your comment is stagnancy or like boredom almost, or in the sense of like you're not pleased with where you are right now. Would that make sense? Like maybe you're not as happy in the career that you are right now. Maybe like your coworkers are the best, or just in general is sort of, I feel like you could be unhappy where you are right now in terms of your job. And so you're feeling a bit stagnant. You're feeling like, okay, I want something new. I want something different. I want something more exciting. I'm feeling a need of feeling excited, of feeling, oh, you're not working at this time? Okay. So I'm taking that as you feeling stagnant and bored with where your life is now since you're not working. It's like you're hoping to have something new or to start something new. Oh, sorry, my light turned off. Died. Okay. So that's where that stagnancy is coming from. It's the fact that right now you're not employed and you're hoping to find something new. Is there something that's holding you from seeking a job or getting a career? Because I feel like there's something sort of holding you back. Because the opportunities are out there for you. And I feel that. It's like I'm seeing a door opening up. The door is closed and I see that door opening up, but it's like you're hesitating to go forward, to go through that door. They're saying also to start putting yourself more out there as well. And I'm seeing some sort of opportunity, some sort of offer that's going to be coming in for you. And when this offer in terms of career first comes up, they're saying, don't be so quick to turn it down. Okay, Linda? So it could be something that maybe you haven't done before. And they're saying, don't be quick to say no to it. More so, allow yourself to have that experience. Go into it and enjoy it, have fun with it, and see how it goes. If it's something that you don't enjoy, you can always go to something else. But they're saying to put yourself more out there. I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards for you. You're waiting to hear from a job. Okay. So I'm feeling like that job offer could go through for you, Linda. But let's see. Let's pull some cards. Dear guides, angels. Okay. Whoa, your cards are flying out. Whoa. Okay. So, so you have changes coming. Okay. So you have changes coming, and it says, I am here to guide you through this exciting transformation. This is a time of joyous opportunities. So, back to what I was saying, I feel like there's opportunities that are going to be coming your way. So, that's representing the change. So, just be open minded to that. You also have take control of your thoughts. So, if you have any type of negative thinking or limiting beliefs that are blocking you from being um being like from that are blocking you from allowing you to receive abundance and a good career and money, try to control your negative thoughts, or like your thoughts of like, oh, maybe I'm not going to get this, maybe this is not going to go good for me. Instead, try to think in a very optimistic and positive way, because you do have these blessings coming in. Okay, you do have that change coming in. And the last card that you have, Linda, is be honest with yourself. And with this one, I feel like there are things that on a conscious level you're not aware of when it comes to yourself. Again, maybe those limiting beliefs, maybe your way of thinking. So try to reflect on your way of thinking and that inner belief, because Spirit is saying there's something that you need to be honest with yourself about that you're not being honest with yourself about. Okay, so try to reflect on those things. Thank you, and I hope that that helps, Linda.
That's beautiful. Okay, so I was really drawn to Beck. So Beck, you said I'd love some spirit guidance or to hear from my pop. Can I just say your pop has the best energy? Like, I wasn't even thinking I was going to do mediumship tonight. I was like, I'm just going to stick with psychic readings. But your pop has the best energy, and I feel like he lived a very long life. I do feel like there were health issues, but a lot of what I'm picking up on is like natural causes, things that come with age. But I feel very drawn to the chest. I do feel like there were some heart issues, but I don't feel like he passed from like a heart attack. I just feel like maybe some heart issues were present. But yeah, I just kind of feel the energy all over. And he's like, I lived a long life, and I don't want to sound blunt, but I also never want to filter spirit. The way that he gives this to me, he's like, I'm old. Old people die. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's the way he gives it to me. Oh, you said,
Wow.
OMG. Yes, he sure does. Yeah, he's got the best energy. Oh, and he was 94. Oh my gosh, good for him. Yep. And that's the way he gives it to me. Like, I got old, it happens. And I feel like his passing was very peaceful. I feel like it was more of just sort of like drifting off into a deep sleep. And he does show me he was able to be with family around that time, and he was able to sort of have some last visits. Did you guys, before he actually passed, oh yeah, before he actually passed, did you guys have like I feel like there was some sort of like gathering where he was still very present. He was still pretty alert, and able to engage and hold conversations. And he makes me feel like there was some sort of get together where he was able to just kind of make some final memories, and he really cherishes that moment. But he comes through, and let me know if you understand this, because he keeps saying, you're at this like transitional time in your life back, and he makes me feel like you're trying to decide, do I keep moving in the direction that I'm going in, or do I take a new path? Oh, I love that. And what he keeps saying is, he's like, stop waiting to live your life. Live your life now while you can. And I love him because he goes, don't wait till you're old like me. Live your life while you can. And so whatever this decision is, I feel like it has a lot to do with maybe career or finance or, something in that general area. But he keeps showing me like, it's okay to change your path. It's okay to move in a direction. It's okay to, make changes and sort of alter the lifestyle that you've had for so many years. It's like, you're never too old to make those changes. And he just keeps saying, is like, live your life now while you can. Stop waiting. So let me see. But he's so sweet. And he just is. He comes in like this big ball of energy, and he's just like so sweet, so excited to see you, so excited to talk to you. And I do have to say, just know he does communicate in his own way. So when you think of him, know that that's because he's with you at that exact moment. Wisdom is your first card. So this is a card that's like, trust your inner knowing, okay? Listen to your inner guidance. And if you are feeling that pull to change things when it comes to your finances, allow yourself to do that. Allow yourself to follow your intuition. And then you got the vision card. So this to me says two things. One, do you see that third eye right there? That's another, like, trust your intuition. Your inner knowing knows what you need, what you're going to do. It knows everything that ever was, is, and will be. So trust it. But also, I feel like this is saying stop looking outside of yourself, kind of like the wisdom card. Take time to go within, see the bigger picture, daydream, visualize what you want, and then go after what you want, and know that you have your grandfather's support. Okay. Oh, thank you. Let's say. You're very welcome. Oh, and I described him to a T. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. He's super sweet.
I love that. Okay, I was trying to run. I don't know if you're still here because I saw your comment earlier on and I wrote down your name so I don't forget. But you asked about your wife, Ron, and I think you asked if she's okay. And as soon as I said that, she's like, oh my God, tell him to stop worrying. Tell him to stop worrying so much, Ron. Now that I'm alone with broken heart, should I stick out my dreams or stay in my current path? Okay, Ron. I'm going to bring forward the messages that your wife is giving me, and then, okay, perfect. And then we can dive into that. Okay. So, Ron, the first thing that she was saying was that it's like, tell him not to worry. Like he's overthinking, he's over, analyzing it. He's like, she's saying that she's very much okay, and I feel that. You're welcome. Was her passing recent or in the last few years? Maybe like the last 2 years or so? It feels to be recent to me. That's at least how she's coming through. Oh, it's okay, Ron. You can cry. This is a safe space, and this is a very challenging time for you. And she's telling me that. She's telling me how she watches over you and how she's there in those moments where you're alone and feeling. And she's there to comfort you. She's showing me putting her hands on your back, and she's going like this. And she's specifically taking me to like nighttime 1 year. Okay. She's taking me to like nighttime specifically when you're about to lay down. She's letting you know that she's very much there as you're easing into sleep. So anytime that you're thinking about her before you go to sleep, or you feel a presence or something weird happens, she's saying, that's me. Was she a smoker? Or okay, that's beautiful. I'm glad that you feel her. Was she a smoker or someone else? Because I'm also feeling another energy for you in spirit. It feels to be a male, kind of like a father figure. Would this make sense? And they're saying that they're together. They're like, we're here together. And the way that I'm seeing them, they're both like, they're like going like this, like waving at you. It's funny because they're acting like you could tell, like you felt pressure on your back. Oh, wonderful. She's like that. She's there. The way that so your wife and this male presence again feels like a father figure, maybe an uncle. My dad. Oh, so it was your dad. He smoked. Okay. So as I'm giving you this confirmation, just know that it can either be her or him. I think they're both coming in at the same time. And they're both waving at you, and they're so excited to be connecting with you. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're together. It's so cute because they're so excited to be together. It's funny. And they're like rooting for you, Ron. They are sending you so much love and healing energy because they know how much you're going through and how you're trying your very best. And they see you. They're like, we see you. We feel you. We're here with you. But they're also here to remind you that you got this, that this is something that you're going to find healing in due time. With your dad, I feel like his passing was farther back, like it's been a couple of years. It's okay. Take your time. I felt very drawn to you. Your wife was like, pick him. Like she wanted to come across, okay? I couldn't ignore you. I couldn't ignore her energy. When it comes to her personality, Ron, did someone have cancer? Or maybe someone gets sick? Oh, he passed away 10 years ago? Yeah. He feels to be more like a while ago. Did someone get like an illness, if not cancer? Because I'm feeling like she was your peeps. When it comes to her personality, Ron, would it make sense that she was someone very generous and very kind and loving, but at the same time it was so fast? Oh, she had cancer. Okay. Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I was gonna say it also felt like it was very unexpected or very fast. Even if you knew she had cancer, it was unexpected in the sense that it also happened fast. Like, did it maybe develop fast? But the way that she's coming forward is like very nurturing, very loving, but at the same time I feel like she could be stern. Or like, let's say when you guys were in the house and she asked you to do something with like the laundry, and let's say maybe you put it aside and you didn't do it when she asked, she'd be like, come on, like I told you to do this, like go get the laundry done or something of that sort. Like that type of energy where sometimes she could have attitude. Would that make sense? And she showed me a cookie earlier. I don't know what she meant by this. This could be maybe that she, cooked specific meals. Very bold. Okay. Yeah, she's coming through with like a little bit of attitude. Like, listen, it's funny. She showed me a cookie earlier. I don't know what that means, but whenever spirit shows me like a cookie or something like that, I think of cooking and having like a specific meal that perhaps you guys shared together or that you can remember or something like that, like something specific with that though. And also, do you guys have children? Outspoken and straight to the point. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. It's like direct energy. Do you guys have children? Because she's also like bringing an energy, I think, to a boy. Like, do you guys have a son together? Or maybe did she have a nephew that was of significance? Or who this boy that she's referring to? She was an amazing cook. She knows I'm struggling with that. Oh, so she's acknowledging that. I love that for you. She's very loving though. She's coming forward with so much love. Never could have kids. Okay. She's referencing a boy, though, a male, and he feels to be sort of like a son or something of that sort. Miscarried. Oh, okay. Could be that baby that she miscarried is now in spirit with her as well. That happens a lot. So you get to reconnect and realign with miscarriages because that's still part of you. So that could also be a representation that they are together. I'm gonna go ahead and pull some cards for you, Ron, on what other messages she has for you. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Oh, okay. Ron, one of the things that she is saying is get your power back. And with getting your power back, this reminds me of when we start to feel really lost in the grief, in the pain, in the sorrow, that we lose ourselves. We lose our purpose, we lose our why and feeling fulfilled in life, feeling happy, which of course is very hard to do during our grief. However, she's telling you call your power back because you still have a purpose here. You still have something that you're supposed to gain out of this lifetime, and your life does not end just because their physical life ended. And she's saying she wants you to attune more to your healing, to yourself, and be more compassionate and more loving with yourself. And she's also saying it's almost over. So with that card, she's just reminding you that this is not forever, that there will come a point in time. Okay. So as I was saying that, she just said, and this may be something that you're not open to at this moment, of course, and maybe you don't even want to hear it, but this is what she's giving me. When I was saying that, she said, there's someone that's going to come into your life and it feels like it's a romantic connection in the future. Maybe not now. I don't feel like it's going to be now, but it feels like you're going to find love again. And she's saying like, this is not the end. You're going to feel life again, and you deserve that. She wants you to know that you deserve that. And she's almost saying like, when I was here in the physical, I wouldn't be saying this. If I was there in the physical, there's no way I would have said that it's okay for him to be with someone else. But she's like, I want you to know it's okay when that time comes, of course.
Mhm.
Allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to process. Sorry, I made this so long. It's just her energy is so strong. But I hope that helps. Okay. Sorry.
No, I love that. I love it. I think he needed to hear all of that.
Yeah,
That's
I
beautiful.
think so too. I hope that helps.
Yes, I love that so much. So we are about at our hour mark already. I'm like, I looked up and I was like, holy cow, like how did a whole hour go by?
It goes by so fast. Oh my
It does.
goodness.
It does. I always have such a great time though. So if you guys are loving Ani, be sure to go follow her, check out her website, follow her on social media. I think I told you I was like scrolling TikTok one day and I caught like the tail end of one of your TikTok
Yeah.
lives. And I was like, oh, dang it. I caught just the end of it. But you were just like,
Yes.
you just popped up on my FYP and I was
Oh
like,
my
hey, guess
God,
what?
that's so funny. And I've been going live on TikToks a lot more often now, guys, as well. Thank you for mentioning that, Ashley. So if you guys want to catch me on a live where I do mini readings and things of that sort, I've been doing a lot of guaranteed mini readings where I'll charge like literally like $7 for a mini reading. And I'm doing them on TikTok. So make sure to follow me on there. The username is the same as all of my social medias, which is at Enlightened Blissful Souls. Okay.
Yep.
And sorry, one more thing.
Yep.
One more time for those that came in last minute, I am offering a special offer at this time where I am doing a forecast reading for 2024, where I dive into each area of your life, personal, romance, career, and I'm giving you an energy, a feel of what 2024 holds for you. Oh, thank you, Kristen. You're so sweet.
Yeah, I love it. And people always want to know. They're like, I get questions all the time. I'm like, what does next year hold for me? What can I expect, over the next 12 months? And I'm like, well, here's a great chance to find
Yeah,
out.
exactly. And I think you're also running a similar deal. So
Yeah.
yes, either way,
Yeah.
it's good to have sort of like a feel of like what to expect.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So this has been so much fun. I always love going live with you. So definitely go give Ani a follow. And if you guys have any questions about her services, absolutely reach out to Ani. I can't answer questions about her services or how things work, but reach out to her if you have any questions. But this has been so much fun. Thank you all for hanging out with us and joining.
Yes, thank you guys so much. And I look forward to seeing you or connecting with you sometime in the future. Mwah. Kisses.
All right. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you next time.